Всем привет! Сегодня видео будет на английском языке, потому что недавно YouTube подсунул мне рекомендацию одного канала про Омск на английском языке, и так я узнала про Майка. Это американец, который живет в Омске уже довольно продолжительное время. Я ему написала, он согласился встретиться. Хотелось бы еще раз поблагодарить его за уделенное время. Вот. Будет две части по 12-15 минут. Также я оставлю в описании ссылочку на интервью на русском языке, потому что там как бы общая информация и самые такие горячие вопросики, которые задаются иностранцам. И также я оставлю ссылку на его канал Omsk Live. Все, приятного просмотра.
How long have you been living in Russia and in Omsk?
Well, let's see, the first time I came to Omsk was 2000, and I came here to live in 2003.
Why did you choose Omsk?
Well, I was single at the time, and I thought a Russian wife would be nice, and there was an online dating service, and this girl was from Omsk. Well, I came and it didn't really work out. I could tell we are not exactly a good pair, so she was very nice, professional, but we weren't quite a match. So anyway, the last day I was here, I met some people, and I wrote them back and forth a couple times, and I came back to visit and met somebody's sister and got married to her. Mm-hmm.
And do you think that there are a lot of differences between regional cities? Have you visited a lot of cities?
Well, I have visited quite a few in Siberia, Novosibirsk, Omsk, Yekaterinburg, Tobolsk, Chemyevo, Sochi a couple times, Nizhny Novgorod, Moscow, Petersburg. In the neighborhoods like this, you'll see the paradek, clean sidewalks. Even if it's like the Khrushchevki, you'll see they keep the sidewalks clean in Novosibirsk. I noticed that. Omsk, Yekaterinburg, all the cities seem to have upkeep their sections of the city. Maybe I'm mistaken though, I haven't really. But when I was in Novosibirsk, like the hotel we were at, we were going to the subway station. You could see like the Khrushchevki, and they had normal sidewalks, lights, clean. And here we're lagging in Omsk. Although they're trying, you can see they're doing a great job, what they've done.
Can you tell us the most memorable reaction of a Russian person that found out that you live here?
Well, I don't really remember all, but in general, this type of atmosphere, like you're crazy to be here, why do you want to live here, or you must be, I don't know. Because I came from Florida in America, not far from Miami, which a lot of Russians, especially 20 years ago, were really trying hard to get to America, a lot of people. So it's just like a general attitude that, why are you here, why would you want to come to this country? They just can't quite understand that.
And your grandparents are from Slovakia?
Yeah, my father's side. Mm-hmm.
And have you tried living there, maybe going?
Oh no, I'd have nobody. I have relatives there, but I mean, there's no connections, or nobody said come and try living here or anything. I can't speak Slovak very well either. So.
And do you go often to America?
Well, I haven't been there for a couple of years now, but we are going every 2 years to spend the summer there, or a month or so, with the kids, and to get them in the, out of the pollution from the factories here, or something, to get into the sea a little bit. Yeah.
What feelings do you have visiting your hometown?
Well, yeah, after you get to living in here in Russia, then you also get irritations with the Americans, in some ways, like having to smile at strangers and say, how are you on the street? And people asking, where are you from? Why are you here? They're not really, they're curious that you're walking around in their neighborhood, and they're a little bit worried. And they're also friendly, but the driving in America, having to drive everywhere for everything. You can see people walking in the city here, but you don't see anybody walking in America. And it's like this zombie zone in the city, in the country. People just get in their cars and they go to the next place. you get in your car and go to the park, and then you get back in the car and go home, this kind of thing.
And what I noticed that there are 3 kids on your picture in
Yeah,
Telegram.
yeah.
Among young people, it's popular to want to live abroad. What do your kids or the kids of your family think about
Well,
this?
they sometimes when they're cranky or something, they also, things are different there, and but they're really not really serious about going to I don't think any of them. I think people understand times are changing quickly, and I have students, they talk about how dirty and dangerous New York is now. I had a student go to California, and she said, I'll never go back there again. Her father lives there.
Why?
It's so dirty and dangerous. I mean, there's homeless people everywhere, open drug use. I mean, unbelievably scary. This is Los Angeles area. It's pretty much everywhere. And Las Vegas she went to. She said, the only thing I enjoyed was the Grand Canyon. She's been there many times, and her father's there. So, times have changed in 20 years. Yeah.
And what are the 3 things that you haven't got used to in Russia?
I don't know. I mean, it's you might as well say you're in America. You go to this same fast food. You go to this same OB. It has the same beautiful displays. When I first came to Russia, they had like 6 selections of tile for the bathroom, only blue, yellow, green. But all that changed rapidly. There's really nothing to miss that you couldn't get here. And also in a big city here, you can walk around. You can get transportation. And in America, you only have New York or maybe Washington, D.C., where you can get a metro or something like that. So there's nothing to miss there.
Do you follow the news in America?
Oh yeah, every day I keep track of the news for my students' sake and for my own interest, keeping up what's going on in the country there.
Do you have any feelings like maybe regret or something, or excitement?
Never. I don't look back because I really had a difficult work history there. Worked very hard for little money, and here I finally had a life because when I left America, I had $6,000 in my pocket, maybe not even that. A used car, an old guitar, living with my parents. There was nothing to leave there. I was working all day out in the heat, very, very hot, and for very difficult work. I always enjoyed the ocean in Florida, but you can't just sit there like a frog and look at the water every day, So.
And what about your wife? You said that she didn't want to leave?
The people we meet in Florida, a lot of the Ukrainians and Russians, you meet them on the beach, most of them that we saw were working illegally, cleaning houses. One lady, she said, I got married to an American. He said I have my own houseboat, and it was not his houseboat, it was his friend's. They had a baby, then they divorced, and she wanted to go back to Russia, but the father wouldn't let the baby go out of the country. You have a lot of stories like that. People who are a doctor here, they went, like this other lady, she went there to take care of an old man. Sure, there's some people that have high incomes that really can make a life there, and they like that American lifestyle. But you can live an American lifestyle here. You can get a cottage in the same thing. You can be part of your culture. I think it's the Russians so long have believed in America like a religion, and it's kind of breaking now slowly by thing. After the USSR disintegrated, I think they look for something to believe in. I guess I don't know how else to explain it.
Can you give some examples that Russians believe that some things are better in Europe or in the US?
Well, yeah, I don't know what, because I mean, if you pay money, you can get the finest everything here in healthcare and whatnot. I tell them stories about the healthcare there. I try to explain that it's not what they think.
Yeah, like $200 per visit.
Yeah, it was like 1,000. That was 10 years ago. 15 years ago, they wanted to charge us $1,000 just for consultation, not even doing anything. And they're constantly pushing, like my parents, for some type of operation, this and that, to replace the knee, this and that. And it's so expensive there. Basically, people just sign over their houses basically to pay for it sometimes if you don't have good insurance. I'm not saying it's terrible, but it just America healthcare ranks at the lowest of all the developed nations. I don't think people understand that.
And what do you think about Russian medical system in Omsk?
Fine. I wouldn't say it's perfect. When I got here, you could see some doctors exploiting, trying to get false information, trying to get money. But I've had 2 operations. I've had to stay in the hospital twice. They, of course, no nonsense, but they did their job. It was very professional. I had 2 trips in the ambulance this last time. Operation, all the medical care, and they charged me $160. If that's incredible. 1 week in the hospital. I mean, for in America that would be incredible.
Yeah,
You just can't. Yeah.
And how do you find infrastructure in Omsk?
Yeah, that's. I remember the roads. Remember the roads about 10 years ago? The potholes were like this, and
Yeah, sometimes
finally.
you can see them in Chikalovsk or
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
districts.
Well, you can. They solved that problem mainly, although, of course, a lot of these side roads and the road out to the dacha here was recently done as well. So they're making improvements, but of course, our poor metro system. The metro system was supposed to come out here, and that was a big failure. I think they really should have done it. Keep at least a little progress going on year after year. My beard grew white waiting for that metro, and it'll go all white. One lesson I had over in the Oktyabrska Raion, it took me 4 hours in Chas Peak, and then at night to stand out in the freezing cold waiting for the marshrutka that would come out all the way here for a 45-minute lesson.
It was back then.
About 10-15 years ago, it'd take incredible amount of time for to get across this city. So that's no good, because people are having to use cars all the where, and it's expensive, very expensive.
How do you find Russian driving, Omsk driving?
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. I feel like I finally, when I get home, I am alive. I like to walk and I like to take the bus, but with the family, you always have to use it every day.
What can you say about education?
Well, I think they tried to go with the European model of education, and I think a lot of people have been unhappy about that. As I've had kids, and when my wife talks about how they did a very logical step-by-step, and it wasn't overloading, and they only went for 10 years for a school. They could start at age 7, where in America you start at age 5, and I think it was a lot better in ways. But they say, well, we can't go back to that system, but they need to find their own way. So I think it could be better. Also, university students, in my mom or my wife's time, you could get a university if there was a job waiting for you, a direct connection to the labor market. Here you have young people, just like in America, you get out and you can't use your education. That's so, it's expensive, it's a lot of time, so